Morning. How are you doing?
I am fantastic.
It's a beautiful Friday.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to great things ahead.
Absolutely. Mostly Fridays are the last day. Friday is the last day of the week, right? And so people are looking forward eagerly to the weekend. And sometimes there's a temptation to get through things as quickly as possible so that you can get enough in terms of a weekend's rest and all of that. But I mean, I'm looking forward to today. Today we begin to get into a bit more in terms of that mid-year budget review by the finance minister yesterday and all of that. And so it's still a good day to be fruitful, a good day to be useful, and most certainly we're looking forward to today as well.
Awesome.
A number of things, I think big on the agenda and the calendar will be the mid-year budget statement by the finance minister. I suspect a number of the papers will already have it on their front pages as well. Did you listen to the minister yesterday?
No, I did not.
Why was that?
Because, so let me just read something on the front page of one of the newspapers that says, 2026 media budget review. This is coming from the Ghanaian point. Ghana is working again, majority leader. That is Mahama Ayariga. And then, in contrast, uninspiring and empty promises. Apenyo Makin reacts to 2026 budget media review. So that is it. The moment you introduce politics into all these things, it gives you both different sides of the coin. But listening to it, sometimes he's just reading. He's reading out and not explaining everything. So you need to take the text after he's read it, and then you would go through it step by step to see whether or not whatever was said before is what is being read out now or being corrected or any additions that have been made to it. So my interest is not in reading it. My interest is knowing that our roads are in good shape. Our transport system is efficient enough to support the citizenry. We have proper spatial planning in this country, and our assemblies are working enough to ensure that there's peace and tranquility between and among residents.
If you listen to him, you know, you get a bit more in terms of assembly persons, because he says all district assembly common fund has been released promptly. First and second quarter have all been released, and so that should be impetus to go, and then you go and get a bit more.
The point is,
from your assembly.
Try reaching out to a few MCs or DCs, and they'll tell you, no, it's not true. My point is that I don't like talk.
No, wait. You said the DCs and MCs say...
They can tell you it is not true.
Oh, no. The minister will not come and stand in front of parliament and say he's not current.
All right, okay, so let me just refer you. Not too long ago, there was a rift between the same finance minister and the minister of agriculture. True or yes?
Yes.
Over payment. That's the thing. One says I have released payment, the other says I have not received it. So that is why I'm saying that whatever has been said needs to be critically examined as to whether on ground it really is what has been.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
I will not speak to suggest that we don't. That's one of the many things we are going to do.
Yeah, my brother. If you woke up one morning and you realize that untarred road, that terrible road in front of your house, or that leads all the way to your workplace, is being worked on rapidly with all aggressiveness by contractors, wouldn't you be excited about it? Wouldn't you be happy about it?
But you are a beneficiary of such. Motorway.
Don't even sink my mood this morning.
You are a beneficiary of ongoing
what?
Big push initiative.
Ongoing what? On the motorway?
Are you not experiencing construction work on the motorway?
Well, I had a certain what's the name engineer called Bimpo claiming that the motorway was 48% complete. Really? Unless technically there's 48% that I don't know, not physically what I see with my eyes and what I drive on every day.
The technicians and engineers will know what 48%.
48% means.
48% could constitute a lot of the major drains and which are being constructed underneath the road, which could improve like some of the most difficult parts of construction.
So that means 48% of the
motorway. No, I'm just making an argument that once they've been able to complete all of that, they believe granite and all of that laying.
Construction work on the motorway is so poor, and I'll stand by it and tell you it is so poor. So even yesterday, I did a recording of a road, the old Aplau Road, and the reason I say so is that, look, directional signs on a road network that is being reconstructed is very essential and significant. It saves lives and it makes life easier for motorists. You see nothing of that sort on the Tema Accra motorway that is being reconstructed, and you tell me that you are 48% done. 48% done with what? Just randomly call 10 people who have used the motorway this morning to ask them the quality of air that they were exposed to driving from Tema to Accra. Still, they wait till afternoon time before they water some parts of the road, which is not good. I keep telling you that the electric or electronic signs that are supposed to be on the road directing people are still not in place. Personnel who are supposed to be wearing luminous attire directing people on the road are not there. There is nothing on this road that tells me that construction is seriously going on. The only thing you see is that there are people working in pouches on various parts of the road. I am not saying nothing is going on. Please understand me. I am saying that the technicalities that are being used or deployed in working on the Accra Tema motorway is not inspiring enough to let anybody believe that some good work is going on. And my point is that who is monitoring this work such that after it is done, number one, we acknowledge that this has been professionally executed. Unlike the Community 18 Boteman Road to School Junction, it was scooped off like 500 times. Anytime it was done, they had to scoop off the surface, resurface, scoop it off, resurface. So many times. What is the problem? We have had contractors do great jobs in this country. So why is it that at this point in time we are deploying certain contractors who are not contractors to do these works? What do I mean by that? Contractors are people who have a certain affiliation towards a political party or a leader in political office. They are given the contract and they sublet to others. So in their minds, what are they? They are just businessmen who have been able to make their ways or make inroads into quarters of authority. So they don't even understand what the person to whom they have sublet the contract to is doing. Meanwhile, people have done work and have done work, great work for us. CP, one of them. The Japanese company that constructed, the Tamamoto roundabout. There are a few companies that have done so good. Look, my point is this. If the local contractors are not up to scratch, we should not rush and say, let us give everything to the local contractors. I told you the last time, I went online to check. The Chinese are the best contractors when it comes to road now.
So we should not build capacity?
Oh, NASPA on my mind. NASPA on my mind.
We should not build capacity.
Let them build it in the way that they have to. So we start from somewhere.
What is the way?
You don't give them a highway like that to construct.
Like Tamamoto way?
No, you don't. Give it to a local contractor. I don't believe in that. You see, the point is that what phone are you using? The phone that you're using wasn't manufactured by a Ghanaian. But the point is that so long as it's been manufactured and it is good, you're using it. If somebody outside is a better manager than a local person, let's not force to have somebody to run it. So our airlines...
Here's the question I'm going to ask. Yes, sir. Do you know the timelines by which the motorway project is to be completed?
No, I don't. I read something in, I think it's going to be ending around 2027, 2028.
The reason why I ask is, if we know the timeline, we can know whether the progress of work is meeting standard. Mm-hmm. Because if for nothing at all, I know the Roads and Highways Minister, right?
Yes, sir.
Someone was telling me he lives around Tema somewhere, right? Someone was telling me he lives around Tema. He will traverse that road a few times, but even scratch that, right? Scratch where he lives and all of that.
Right.
There are working timelines if it's 50% or if it's supposed to be completed by 2027.
Yes.
And there are delays in meeting project-specific timelines. We've seen the minister go round and round and round a number of places. That would have come up. That would have come up that this particular contractor is not meeting the timelines we've given them, right? I'm only saying that, yeah. I mean, for criticism, you can criticize, but I am always one individual who say, even in the criticism, right?
Yes, sir.
Where is the patience? And I don't say be patient in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on this platform, we continue to insist that what are the road? For every construction, anywhere that is happening, don't leave it for the dust to take over the entire.
What are the road?
What are the road consistently?
Smoothing where you have created a diversion. Smoothing the place.
Absolutely.
Don't leave it ragged like that, because it is cars that are passing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Smoothing the road, water it.
Yes. Put proper directional signs.
Great. Let those be there to ease the difficulty of the human.
Thank you.
But for the persons who are going through the motorway, you have to endure.
Oh yes, we have to endure. No two ways about it.
I'm making the point. You have to endure because it will go through that rough patch before it gets better. Unfortunately, we are not at a place where we can say construction will be done in overnight. And I mean, elsewhere we've seen videos of overnight machinery moved and all of that.
In the US, that is what happens.
And all of that, right? Perhaps we're not there yet. I mean,
says who? Give it to a foreign company and tell it to work like they work in Germany, like they work in Japan, like they work in China.
Then when will you build capacity?
Let them start constructing the inner roads and let them do it well.
Inner roads are not up for a conversation in terms of big push, right? And by big, not all of it is local contractors.
They don't need to be a part.
The point I'm making is that
need to be a part of it. I hear there's a contractor in Takrady who's quite solid, but I'm yet to see what he's done.
The point I'm making is that
yes, sir.
We can argue for a very long time that the foreigner and a number of them. I mean, if we can mention names, but I'm not going to mention names.
When you mention names in terms of what, like who has not done well?
No, not who has done well, who has not done well. I mean, some of the foreign contractors who've come to do work in this country before.
Yes.
I mean, when you are going through, you see
they were construction pioneers. That CP.
You see
the ones that did some roads in the Volta region.
You see Queros Galvao and the
Galvao.
Like.
They did the
You see them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They have not left the jurisdiction. They still get work to do. But I ask myself,
yes,
when will you build capacity?
Don't build capacity by doing trial. What we call trial luck. Don't do that. Don't
unless
a road network. A road network.
I don't. The reason why I'm interjecting strongly is that until we see all of the contracts handed out to Ghanaians, see the progress of work, and see that the Ghanaians are not performing, we can't carte blanche say the Ghanaian contractors should not be given contracts to deliver, because they are Ghanaian contractors who are doing good work.
Such as?
You understand?
Such as?
I mean, there are Ghanaian contractors who have received big push contracts, and they are doing their work. You understand? That is why when I asked a question that, for me here, perhaps I'm just going to go into the Roads and Highways Ministry, and then we'll get all the details that we need there. But we can't sit and say
this is
Ghanaian
where the problem
contractors.
Comes. Let me relax your muscle this morning. So I asked I asked my intelligent friend.
My muscle needs to be relaxed because
Yes.
my neck hurts.
I'm asking my intelligent friend, how long does it take for a 20-kilometer highway to be completed? It says 18 months to 4 years plus. It depends on factors. So a 20-kilometer highway isn't just paving 20 kilometers. It's land, design, drainage, bridges, utilities, etc. Accra-Tema Motorway is just extension of some of these things that have already been established back in the 1960s. So if it's a 2-lane single carriage highway, it's 18 to 24 months. If it's a 4-lane dual carriage, flat terrain that has been constructed from scratch, it's 2 to 3 years. If it's a 4-lane with bridges, interchanges, and urban movement, it's 3 to 5 years. If it's mountainous, rocky, wetland, it is 4 to 6 years. So my point is that Accra-Tema Motorway, what is it? Is it a wetland? It is not a wetland. Is it a rocky road? It is not a rocky road. Has it got bridges? No, we are not putting bridges. We are not putting flyovers. We are not putting interchanges. They are not there. No. Oh, bridge. No, what bridges are you talking about? Footbridge? Yes. Oh no, not footbridge is very easy. We are not talking about footbridge. We are talking about proper bridges over rivers. That's what we're talking about, yes. So that is not it. So which country constructs roads best? And it says countries that are consistently ranked best for road quality and construction. Germany, number 1. Japan, number 2. Switzerland, number 3. Singapore, number 4. And then top quality for speed and scale. China, number 1. And it says China builds highways faster than anyone in the world. 20 kilometers can be done in 6 to 12 months. 6 to 12 months. That's what China can. They have the world's largest highway network. That is 180,000 plus kilometers. They use prefab bridges, 247 construction. That is construction morning, noon, and night. Quality varies, but top expressways are excellent. That is what I'm telling you. So this 20-kilometer highway, if it were given to a Chinese company, and here is a Chinese company that is handling it anyways. But this is what my intelligent friend is telling me, that China has got speed and scale. And in 6 to 12 months, they would have completed this 20-kilometer road. And it's going to be of top quality.
I'm on the Ministry of Roads and Highways website, right?
Please,
of all of the.
Please, with all due respect,
big push
top in Africa. You're talking about local content. No, top in Africa.
Big push.
Top in Africa. Right. Number 1, Morocco. Number 2, South Africa. Number 3, Rwanda. And it goes on and on. There is no Ghana here. There is no Ghana here. There is no Ghana. And I've done top 20 countries that construct roads with local influence. It's Singapore, number 1, Netherlands, number 2, Switzerland, number 3, Germany, number 4, Japan, number 5, United Arab Emirates, number 6, Hong Kong, 7, South Korea, 8, Finland, 9, Austria, 10, France, 11, United States, 12, Denmark, Canada, China, Spain, Portugal, Austria. It goes on and on. There's no Ghana there. What I'm saying is that I am not averse to we empowering our local contractors to get into the construction work. But we need to start them off from a base where it's not going to worry and vary the integrity of road users.
I will always disagree with you on
this.
Yes,
no, you can't give a highway. What you're saying means that, for example, you can pick a coach because the person is a coach at Cape Coast UD Park to come and coach the Black Stars.
You know why I'll continue to disagree with you?
Disagree with me?
Because your submission is conclusive that these contractors have not been doing the small roads and have grown into the business and are today receiving these contracts.
I gave you a typical example.
We can argue about a number of companies which could spring up every now and then, right? But so I go to the big push, right?
Great.
So in the Hafo region, there's an upgrading of Bediako Junction to come 15 to Seshi, Adabo Chrome, 55 kilometers. That's lot 1. is going to The Lovely Company Limited. I suspect that will be a Ghanaian company. Upgrading of Bediako Junction, Camp 15 City, Adaba Chrome Lot 2. That is 9 kilometers. Kingsford Construction Limited. In the Ashanti region, construction of Kumasi Outer Ring Project, Arab Contractors. Construction of Kumasi Outer Arab Contractors. So it looks like the Outer Ring Road, Arab Contractors has all 3 lots.
Yes.
In Sunyai, construction of Sunyai Outer Ring Road, 17 kilometers. Kofi Job Company Limited. Award dates 24th November 2025. There is no completion date here. Construction of Sunyai Outer Ring Road, lots 1. That's also Kofi Job. Rehabilitation of Techiman in Konsia Winchi, 32.6 kilometers. Volta Impex. Rehabilitation of Winchi Solar Road, 25 kilometers. I think that's lot 2, right? Seaway Ghana Engineering. I'm seeing M&A Constant Company. I'm seeing Manab Company Limited, all receiving different road contracts. Eastern Volta, rehabilitation of Atimpoku Asikuma Junction, 17.5 kilometers. Usuya Ghana Limited. Rehabilitation of Temaflao Road, 17.3 kilometers. Is by Fair Sky. Fair Sky Limited.
Fair Sky.
Yes.
There are question marks there. We'll get there.
Fair Sky. It's a
Ghanaian company. Yes. There are question marks on the quality of roads they have produced in Ghana. We're working on getting some information and we'll put it all out there for you to understand.
The quality of roads.
Quality of roads, yes. Quality of roads that Fair Sky has put out there. So these are questionable construction companies that we're working on. We're seeking a lot more information on that.
I'm not. You see, once you haven't got information, I'm not sure you can say there are questionable roads.
No, I have information, but we need to make it an official one. We just need to know all the roads, and because there are some roads I can mention to you.
If you go onto the Ministry of Roads and Highways website,
First Sky has constructed a lot of roads in the Volta region. Ask those in the Volta region whether the roads are good.
There are updates as to progress of work. Right, and this was April. I think it needs to be updated. We're in July.
Yes,
we're in July. Rehabilitation. So a number of the road projects are captured here, and they are Ghanaian contractors as well. By all means, let us insist on quality work, but by all means as well, we cannot cut blind say that they should go and be doing inner city roads.
But First Sky, that's all First Sky does. Cocoa roads and some urban roads. And they claim it's growing fast. Growing fast in terms of what?
You see, I want us to speak to conclusive facts.
Absolutely. So I am telling you that even in Ghana, the companies that are leading construction companies, hold on.
If
they are China, that is a China Harbour Engineering Company. They are China.
Nobody is disputing.
Sino Hydro, China. Shimizu Dai Nippon, JV, Japan. Maripoma is the first one. It's Ghana-Italy collaboration. They built the Sofo line. Queiroz Galvao from Brazil. Grupo FCC, Spain. Is it what? This is French. Bouger or something. Bouger means move, but Bouygues. Airport City Roads, that is from France. Even the top Ghanaian ones are Ranok and Maripoma Enterprise. So there's a foreign in the WBHO Ghana, West African Building and Civil Engineering, not Ghana, South African owned, but operates in Ghana. PW Ghana, Preforce Contractors, no, Contractura. So it tells you, Constructora, PW Ghana, Preforce and they are the one, they did parts of Akati Motorway and airport roads. First Sky now comes in here and they say doing cocoa roads and some urban roads. Check if all those cocoa roads are good roads. Queiroz Galvao, they are Brazilian, long presence here in Ghana. They are strong in asphalt. China State Construction, Chinese but with local subsidiaries doing lots of work. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I am not saying that Ghanaian contractors are not good.
No, that's what you are suggesting.
No. That's not what I'm suggesting.
That's what you are suggesting.
I am saying that per the experience that we have seen, what we have seen and driven over. I have told you, crossroads, T-junctions, U-turns, check all of them. Any Ghanaian so one Ghanaian, I don't know, I think, what is his name? I've forgotten his name. He was so fast and used serious technical advancement to start doing his runabouts and U-turns and crossroads. He started using pavement blocks. And if you haven't realized, what's the name? Phil, you drive. I say any runabout, T-junction, crossroads, U-turn, we have potholes all over the place.
And all of those roads were constructed by Ghanaians.
Oh,
let's get into the papers. I'm sure we'll get a bit more.
Yes, I'm not downplaying. People are doing well, but if you haven't risen up to the standard, don't
for me,
give them that contract. Otherwise, we'll go back and forth.
No, as for a company not being, I mean, you must demonstrate competence in terms of work. But to suggest that
they are not up to scratch. That's what I'm telling you.
Ghanaian companies are not up to scratch. I will completely disagree.
I'm just giving you
because I will even argue building competence. You see, the problem we have is inspection or supervision. Right, the word I'm looking for is supervision. Supervision to ensure whether it's an international company, whether it's a local company, they are doing good enough work.
Open phone lines
because
and let people tell you their experiences.
Because that's why when I started, I said I'm not going to mention names because the minister has been on a tour across this country, and the international construction companies you are vouching for, he is complaining they are not doing the work. That's why I'm saying that.
Which companies are those? The one I remember that vividly comes to mind is it Black Oak? Black Oak was giving Black Oak.
I don't remember the minister mentioning Black Oak.
It was Black Oak.
But there are a number of companies. That's why I keep saying that some of them.
The minister mentioned Black Oak, and I spoke to Black Oak directly.
Some of them, I cannot mention, right? But Ghanaian companies, I'm sorry, but I would disagree with you strongly.
Please do.
I would disagree with you.
Call anybody who has ever applied. Listen to me.
Some of the companies, because they are doing very good work.
I am telling you that anybody who lives at Boteman and has used the Boteman School Junction Road, ask them the number of times that road has been scooped.
Right here, look, and here's the roads minister.
Black Oak was given mobilization to go onto the. He never worked. He was given
which
Black
company
Oak. Black Oak. That's what I'm talking about. A contract was given to him at the what's the name there? That's the Ashama Roundabout, Old Aflao Road, the Bediaku Road from what's the name Bumbaria, and the contract has been taken away from him.
Absolutely,
that's a Ghanaian company.
Once that speaks directly to what I'm talking about. Once the person doesn't exhibit the requisite competence or fails to carry out the project, the contract has been taken away from them. And I'm telling you that there are international companies who are on our roads as we speak, who are not meeting timelines. And the minister says they will take contracts away from them, not Ghanaian companies. That's what I'm saying, that supervision.
Meeting timelines are different from quality of the road.
No. And
meeting timelines are different.
Even with respect to quality of roads.
Yes.
I can attest to Ghanaian contractors doing good enough work. The Volta region you mentioned,
yes,
and Fair Sky, some of the roads were constructed by Fair Sky, who has done good work.
Have you checked the Kwando road? Have you checked the Kwando road?
So
have you checked the Kwando road?
When was that road awarded?
Have you checked? It's been constructed and it's going bad. I am telling you that we have made formal requests.
When was that road constructed?
You don't want to allow me.
No, I'm saying that
we have made the formal requests
until there is concrete,
no problems,
evidence,
doubting Thomas
of
you see
Ghanaian contractors failing to meet quality standards. No, I will disagree with because I'm not going to suggest by any means that there might not be concerns about work done, but I'm saying that these are reputations as well. Until we have it, firm, confirmed, I will believe in and I will believe in building competence, because the big names we will mention in 15, 20 years to come, if they do good enough work, that's why I have a problem, right, as to companies, right, who enjoy monopoly to a certain level, not being able to expand and grow the industry they are in. I always have a problem with that.
Now I believe you are not listening to me.
You understand?
Now I believe you are not listening to me. I did not say let us not grow local industries or local construction companies. Well, I said let us start them off from somewhere.
And I asked the question that what makes you think that the companies which are receiving the contracts today have not proven competence in inner roads before they are receiving the contracts?
They have not.
You can't make such a conclusive statement.
But I have told you, I've mentioned roads to you. Who constructed the Pumbaria to Michel Camp?
You understand?
And Afute Agbo. Hold on. And Afute Agbo. I am mentioning, you see, the problem you are having is that you are not mentioning names. I am mentioning names, mentioning roads, mentioning contractors.
Right.
So it is not that I am joking. I am mentioning names. And the Afute Agbo, who constructed the road from Pumbaria to Michel Camp.
I have to present the details.
I have mentioned the Pando Road to you. That was constructed by First Sky. Go and check the road. Among other, I've mentioned names. I've mentioned locations. I've mentioned the Boteman, the 18 junction, Boteman Road, to the, what's the name? School Junction. It has been scooped up so many times. And as we speak now, last 2 weeks, I counted 38 spots, potential spots, where I am telling you.
You counted 38 spots?
Yes. When I reach out like 1, 2, 3, look at this place, 4. Look, when the rains come in 1, 2, 3, God loves us. The moment the rains come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, that is all. You are talking local construction. You use that road from, what's the name of that place? Wager. Coming all the way through Dansoman Junction to Kaneshi.
That's Kekuju's.
Yes, good. That's that area. How come we are not able to work on that part of the road? How come? And cars would have to join the other lane, the oncoming vehicles lane, and be moving.
I've not been there in a while.
They have not reached there. Right. All they do is that they mix.
I've not been there.
They mix. They mix. What's the name of that thing? Chipping. They mix chipping and black paint and pour it on the road.
You see, you have to differentiate between pothole patching.
Did I ever mention pothole patching?
No, because you are mentioning there.
I am now. No. Let's be cautious. I am now mentioning it. So in all my submission from beginning till now, I never mentioned pothole patching.
No, because of this particular aspect where you're mentioning
pothole patch,
black, and I'm saying
black paint
that will be pothole patching. That's a completely different subject matter.
But even do you think that anybody in their right senses would mix black paint and
as for that, I don't have construction background, so I can't speak to what goes into. But I will insist that building Ghanaian competence is one of the surest way to go. After 5-10, I'll not even say 5-10 years, right? we can return to the subject matter on quality.
Yes, sir.
When the roads are done. But until then, when I don't have the evidence as to who is doing what, I will insist.
But people will say, bad problem.
Right. The Daily Graphic, big banner story. Half-year performance best in years. Revenue on track. Spending down. Zero arrears. Interest drops, as according to the finance minister. He was in Parliament yesterday. That was spiraled into a conversation as to the quality of roads and the construction. Minorities skeptical about economic gains. Government deposits 1.7 billion for Accra Kumasi Expressway. Funds protected until main contracts awarded. Economy on sound recovery path. Minister, so then the entirety of the front page from that media budget report by the finance minister yesterday. Okay. Researchers warn against indiscriminate antibiotic use in fish farming. Invest in Ghana's 12 million youth for development. NPC, the National Population Council, is saying this. The Ghanaian Times also next on the bill. Media budget, new buses, roads, energy gains to drive growth. Finance minister saying this. Minority describes media budget as uninspiring. We won't rush to Eurobond market. Finance minister says. Government scraps 20% excise duty on local fruit juices. Suspected narcotic drugs concealed in fertilizer sacks intercepted. 2 arrested. And at a Mills commemorative lecture, fund universities properly or risk Ghana's future. Professor Frimpong Boateng. Back page, MTN Foundation maternity block boosts care at Keta Municipal Hospital. And U.S. urges investment in Ghana's creative economy. I see Ralph Olson, the chargé d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy in picture with a number of persons. Daily Guide newspaper, media budget review. No additional budget for 2026 as government targets more revenue. Minority jabs NDC over fiscal surplus. Buffer stock trial. Court directs AG to amend charges. Bawumia, Ashanti NPP executives meet over wound to me. They don't have back page stories. The final newspaper, Ghana exceeds target in Q1 2026. Ato forcing Ghana to adopt 36-month IMF policy framework. The finance minister is here as well. Deloitte forecasts inflation to ease to 4.9 in July. That's interesting. Business, consumer confidence remains positive. That's the Bank of Ghana. Ghana Exim GHIB partner to strengthen Ghana's exports. No back page for them as well. BNFT, government to halve fiscal anchor to 0.5% of GDP from 2027 with increased capex. Says they want to free up additional 1% of GDP towards development. MTN positions fiber broadband as backbone of digital economy. Petroleum, $3.5 billion upstream investment push aims to reverse oil decline. Yesterday, the minister provided some details. The expectation is that the decline we've been seeing in terms of oil receipts will cease, at least by close of year this year. Right? Private sector credit hits 119.6 billion cedis. Water no get enemy. Why Kanta didn't flood this year? Okay, that's an interesting feature in the BNFT. GCB Bank launches Tier 3 pension loan, and the AI infrastructure raise is not the only race that matters. The Inquisitor, media budget review. No new taxes as government cuts quote according to size. That's interesting. Senegal's Macky Sall for UN Secretary General. Boss Energies has not strayed from core mandate. Salih Funati Champions, the Deputy Managing Director of Bosses, on the front page. ECOWAS renews Baba Kamara's mandate. NLA Fidelity Bank partner for paperless operations. The Informer newspaper. ECOWAS prioritizes peace, security, counter-terrorism brigade set for 2027 as bloc renews Baba Kamara's mandate. Ghana's reserve. Kojo Apon Nkrumah demands whereabouts of $1.2 billion. In this issue, online food scam explodes. Ghanaians lose nearly 300,000 as fraudsters hijack restaurants. 69th ECOWAS Ordinary Session bloc sets bold agenda for economic integration, security and regional unity. Hawkeye trafficking bust. Iyoko rescues 39 victims and covers alleged cross-border travel fraud syndicates, and NLA Fidelity Bank partner. The Free Press is the last one I have here. Ghana clears last hurdle of external debt restriction. Cheddar loses ownership of number 1 Oxford Hotel at Usu. Lawyer Anoche Frimpong defraud.
CPP, that's what they say.
Yeah. Mostly these things, I don't like to read them.
It has to do with an amount of money that he was supposed to have paid to become the flag bearer, or a form that he was, and he issued a check. And they claim the check bounced. So, and he's paying back according to CPP authorities. He's paying the monies.
If he's paying, why has he?
Well, that's a newspaper.
Defrauded.
That's the news. I don't know why they wanted to carry. So even the CPP authorities decided not to speak to the newspaper when they came to confirmation. Let's get to the news center this morning, edited by Elvis Dako. It says government bans Ghana card photocopying from November 2. The story is on page 12, and it has Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, who is Interior Minister. Auditor General orders NPA to refund $2.6 million paid to NTL. It pictures Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, who is NPA CEO. Media budget review fails Ghanaians, a minority is saying. Sinking fund accumulates 15.6 billion Ghana cedis, Dr. Atuforsen, and bold banner headline: government cuts expenditure by 35.6 billion Ghana cedis in first half of 2026 and a sign of fiscal distress slowing economic activity. On the back page, it's got to do with the same Ghana banning of the cards. Yeah. The overseer says consumers to receive rewards for demanding VAT invoices, Atuforsen reveals. Also on the front page, Women's Development Bank to begin operations before end of 2026. Same Atuforsen says so. Bank of Ghana urges public to accept CD coins as legal tender. It pictures the governor. Minority chants release one to me as Mahama's name echoes. NACOC warns illegal cannabis farms face sanctions. And Osman Ayariga and Abigail Elom Mensah stand disqualified as court throws out petition against party. The Ghanaian Point says 2026 mid-year budget review. Ghana is working again, says Majority Leader Mahamudu Bawumia. And uninspiring and empty promises, Apenyo Marking reacts to 2026 mid-year budget. We are spending wisely to protect economy. This is according to Atu KCL Forsen. And also 11 fake national security operatives arrested for extorting cannabis farmers in Eastern region. That is the point for this morning. And let's see, the Daily Post this morning says Ghana exceeded economic targets in first half of 2026. To Forsen, Ghana Medical Trust Fund boosts Tamale Teaching Hospital NICU with oxygen equipment. President Mahama pushes local production of medicines and vaccines across Africa. And Atuforsen is saying that government has recapitalized banks and restored confidence in financial sector. Also on the front page of the Informer this morning, the Informer says Ghana's reserve, KON demands whereabouts of $1.2 billion. NLA Fidelity Bank partner. ECOWAS prioritizes peace and security. Counterterrorism brigade set for 2027 as bloc reviews Baba Kamara's mandate. Also on the page is Yoko rescuing 39 victims. They uncover alleged cross-border travel fraud syndicate, and it has a picture of Raymond Archer. Did you do the new Crusading Guide?
No.
The new Crusading Guide says tough times for ministers. Apenyo Marking. Also, court directs amendment of defrauding charges against ex-NAFCO boss. We have Adjasafo spent 3.7 million Ghana cedis on Kantanka funeral preparation. This is what lawyers are saying. MP's quiz competition produces 20 Cuba-trained medical doctors. Oh, wow. Politicians must live with integrity. That is Kofi Anoche. The Evening Mail says human trafficking fund missing from mid-year budget review. So people are claiming that human trafficking fund was not mentioned in the mid-year review budget. Now, government commits $1.7 billion for Kumasi-Accra Express Highway. Kingsley Ajiman's quiz competition produces 20 Cuba-trained medical doctors for Ghana. And the Metro Lens says, your money is safe under Mahama. Finance Minister Atu Forson assures Ghanaians. Arnaud Dompré leads Africa's first continental cancer law drive. Also on the front page, free Wontumi, all political prisoners Apenyoma King to government. And Kingsley Quiz produces, 20 Cuban-trained doctors for Ghana. The Daily Gist says, media budget review. Minority says it's empty. It's surgery at Forson. NDC suspends Kaswa chairman for having sex with MP. And Bawumia storms Kumasi to cool NPP members over Wontumi jailing. The Insights today says, Atta Mills, 14 years on. The economic recovery under Mahama bests Ghana moving forward, according to Finance Minister. Breakthrough news under attack in the U.S. And the final one, which is women and leadership. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman calls for stronger Africa city partnerships to drive sustainable development. Also on the front page of Women and Leadership, breast and cervical cancers emerge as major killers of Ghanaian women. Deputy Local Government Minister calls for professional administration of chieftaincy institutions. High Commissioner Zita Benson rallies Team Ghana ahead of Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games. And finally, Trade Minister seeks stronger UNIDO partnership to accelerate agribusiness and SME growth. So those are the newspapers for this morning. If you want more, you can visit our page.
Right. 3news.com this morning. Media budget. Government fell short of half-year revenue target by 2 billion cedis. That's according to the minority. It's hypocritical to blame NPP government for debt restructuring and take credit for it. Media budget review. Clearly, Ghana is working again. Mahama Ayariga is saying this, and the finance minister says the recovery belongs to every trader, entrepreneur, worker who persevered through difficult times. The finance minister is saying this. Mahama secures AU commitment to place xenophobic attacks on the agenda. Ghana and Morocco have signed 11 MOUs, also on the front page. We're not going back to haircuts. Atu Forson warns against reckless spending. That's the big banner story at myjoyonline.com. Oxford #1 hotel rejects receivership claim, says facility remains under management's control. Bring Oforiatta back to account for Ghana's debt. Majority leader tells minority. Stop threatening NPP MPs with prosecution. You will be in opposition in 2028. Apenyomakin warns AG, and Africa must manufacture its own contraceptives to achieve health sovereignty. Dr. Sena Huntong saying this. 12 economic figures that matter from Ghana's 2026 mid-year budget review. You find that on citynewsroom.com. Atu Forson, 950,000 Ghanaians lifted out of multidimensional poverty. Ghana is working again. Majority hails Atu Forson after media budget. UAE launches emergency relief for victims of Ghana's June 29 floods. #1 Oxford Street Hotel not seized, remains under our control. Management adopt aggressive revenue reforms to boost income. Economists to governments. Ghana Web is the last one. From Tema to Kisanaba. How police tracked and killed 2023 Ablekuma bullion van robbery suspect. Be careful or you will join Wontumi in jail. Apenyo Markin warns Attorney General. Romans 30 verse 31. How Paul Adomotri wrongly quoted the scripture on national television. So one of the many things we should be discussing. Why is Ken Oforiatta? We must bring him back. Ayariga challenges minority over debt crisis. Cheddar disputes reports of Oxford #1 hotel takeover. Also here. So yeah, those are the details.
Yes, another TikToker arrested over alleged offensive comments about Mahama.
Oh, really?
Yes. All on Ghana. And also, Wuntumi conviction. Stremsai explains evidence behind guilty verdict. Also, 2 Ghanaians take South Africa to the International Criminal Court.
One of such is our guest, is part of our panel members this morning. When he comes, we'll get a bit more from him. Fred, let's go to Parliament and play back some of the highlights from the Minister's address yesterday, and then we can get a bit more in terms of reactions.
Right.
Mr. Speaker, we have overcome the original sin. Whilst I now take you to the sinking fund. While Ghana's debt restructuring is nearing completion, prudent debt management requires us to look beyond today to tomorrow's obligation. Mr. Speaker, in 2027, DDEP bonds that will fall due is 58 billion Ghana cedis. Another 53 billion Ghana cedis will fall due in 2028. In 2 years alone, Ghana has to repay 111 billion cedis. 111. Mr. Speaker, this is the true Agenda 111. Right, Honorable Speaker? This is the true Agenda 111 Ghana must deal with. Why? Because the DDEP was not designed to solve Ghana's problems. Mr. Speaker, let me take this again. This is the true Agenda 111 Ghana must deal with. Why? Why? Because the domestic debt exchange program was not designed to solve Ghana's debt problems. It was designed to postpone it deliberately, knowingly, and cynically, unfortunately. Mr. Speaker, its architect mortgaged tomorrow to survive today. Mr. Speaker, they had a duty to fix the roof. Instead, they moved the leak to another room and declared the house repaired. Right, Honorable Speaker? Meeting obligations of this magnitude requires advanced planning, not last-minute scrambling. This is precisely why this government has strengthened the sinking fund to set aside money to repay future debt obligations that we inherited. The education remains one of the most powerful investments we can make in the future of our country. Government is therefore taking bold steps to transform secondary education through a $300 million United States dollar World Bank financing. Mr. Speaker, under this $300 million United States dollar World Bank financing initiative, government will undertake 210 major infrastructure interventions across the country. These include, Mr. Speaker, we are building 10 new secondary schools. Right, Honorable Speaker, we will rehabilitate 150 secondary schools. Mr. Speaker, we are upgrading 30 Category C secondary schools to become a Category B school. Mr. Speaker, aside, we are also upgrading 20 Category B schools to be part of Category A. Mr. Speaker, we are also going to procure furniture to support the schools that we are upgrading and ensure that every school child going to any of our secondary schools benefits from textbooks free of charge. Mr. Speaker, we will review the existing sliding scale excise rates for beer and stout product to better align them with government revenue objectives while preserving the incentive for local production. Right, Honorable Speaker, strengthening compliance through mandatory electronic registration of stockists, a nationwide track and trace system, penalties of up to 3 times the excise duty for tampering, and enforcing the law on requiring bank guarantees, and abolishing, Mr. Speaker, the payment of 20% excise duty on locally manufactured fruit juice. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 20% excise duty on locally manufactured fruit juices introduced in 2023. Right Honorable Speaker, this is to support agro-processing and job creation.
Mr. Speaker, this review is full of English with empty payment. The payment he said is done. He said they've done some payment. Why didn't he give us details? You paid your party members. You paid your party members. The monies have gone to your party members. And Mr. Speaker, the Nkukon Kitinkiti project has now become protein.
Honourable members, I insist we listen to each other in silence.
The Nkukon Kitinkiti has become protein for your party executives. They are all cooking Akukon Kwine. It is now Akukon Kwine. Mr. Speaker, I want the finance minister to walk the talk. This review is uninspiring. There is no inspiration. What we are experiencing in this country is persecution, persecution, persecution. For the first time, we are seeing political imprisonment. One to me is a political prisoner. Mr. Speaker, Camila Al-Hassan, a young mother of 3, is also a political prisoner, telling you how intolerant you are, and you are here telling us you are running an economy. You want this to be a one-sided parliament. When people criticize you, you threaten them. A lot of my MPs here have been threatened. You are threatening members of parliament with prosecution. Let me serve a warning to the Attorney General that the ravening clouds shall no longer be victorious. They shall not long possess the sky. Be careful. 2028, you'll be in opposition. 2028. If you are not careful, Mr. Speaker, if you don't stop now, you will go and meet Wontumi there, and Wontumi will be out, and you will go in. So I'm advising you, let us all be measured. We welcome the reforms by the finance minister, and for the first time, he did something patriotic by acknowledging the digitalization reforms we introduced in government payments. Today he has acknowledged it. Mr. Speaker, we commend you for acknowledging MPP. We commend you, but you can do better. Tell your government to free all political prisoners. Dr. Atu-Forson, tell your government to free all political prisoners.
Bits and pieces, right, from the legislative chamber from yesterday, and a number of key takeaways. The minister says that we are well ahead in terms of a number of our targets, particularly growth is ahead of targets and extends beyond gold, because for a very long time the concern has been that it's all been just gold which is influencing how well the Ghanaian economy is doing. The government's turnaround strategy rests on 3 key transformational policy reforms: fiscal correction, modernizing the tax regime, and complementary fiscal policy. Inflation has been halved. They say the fiscal anchor is holding. Debt has become sustainable. Reserves cover 5 months now instead of 3. The sinking fund war chest is being prepared to cater for DDEP payments, amongst other things. Revenue is where a lot of question is being asked, but the government says that revenue strategy is compliance, technology, and a broader base, and they are seeking to ensure compliance. On Big Push, they say that the project delivery is advancing. Considering that you did not pay particular attention to what the minister had to say yesterday, coming to you to pick quick thoughts is a bit of a challenge this morning as well, in terms of exactly what was said, what was discussed amongst many other things. But we're going to go on to the phone lines pretty shortly. Peter Partey has been on the educational front, right? He's been trying to assess what was captured in the media budget review, the positives for the education sector and areas which were not mentioned as well, for a bit more in terms of I won't call it scrutiny, but I mean, when the budget comes, some portions cater for others, some do not mention specifically some other areas as well. I've seen that he's put some things together in relation to that.
3FM,
and so we'll get a bit more in terms from him as well.
Right.
The minister has also been explaining in subsequent interviews, some of which we've been monitoring, for instance, about the concern as to releases, right, and what we saw play out between the Agric Ministry and the Finance Ministry as to a lack of releases. Says that there's been a change in terms of what is done. The money has been provided to the Controller and Accountant General. You have to do your part to show that the money should be released to you. And so there was confusion on that score, which resulted in the back and forth between both ministries, but subsequently it's been resolved, and that understanding is being provided to all other ministries and agencies as to how funds can be assessed, amongst other things, for work to be done. Right? So those are the things, but it will come back to how well you're able to feel it in your pockets when all is said and done. But the minister also says that these are early stages yet. Consolidation is being done to ensure that all of this will pay. But he makes an interesting point, particularly during his concluding remarks about why everybody must put their hands to the wheel to safeguard the progress which has been made, and that it should not be, fiscal discipline should not be seen as the job of a finance minister. It must be one that everybody understands, everybody partakes in, so that we don't return to the IMF for the 18th time, because we've been there 17 times already. And they are determined that that 17th time will be the last. But to ensure that it is the last, all Ghanaians must put their hands to the wheel and ensure that fiscal discipline is not just one person's style, because the conversation suggests that, he's not spending, he's keeping the books tight, and all of that. That should not be something that is known for, or one person is known for. It must be the general countenance of everybody else who occupies the position and all Ghanaians, so that we can safeguard, amongst many other things, the gains that have been made as well. I'm going to go over the phone lines. Dr. Eric Boachi-Adom is an economist who's joining us via the phone lines as well. He listened in to the finance minister yesterday. He's a financial economist and senior lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. Let's pick quick thoughts from him as to what it is that we heard from the minister yesterday. Doc, good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us here on the 3FM Sunrise. Appreciate you for the time you've made for us this morning as well. Listening to the finance minister yesterday, the fiscal numbers and the projections, amongst others, how would you rate the work that's been done half year with the Ghanaian economy?
Yes, I should say that the numbers are
indeed, on the face of it, tells a good story. Of course, to have inflation, although there has been a 3-month consecutive rise in it, but still within a single digit, is good. And to have even the first quarter growth, which is also even beyond the targeted growth, is also something which is commendable. You look at the fiscal discipline, generally, it is also good. So the numbers generally tell a very good story. But there are also critical things that I think that we need to discuss. From the budget that was read, there are some few highs in it. For example, holding on to the creation of the fiscal council, to ensure value for money. I mean, the value for money office, and ensuring that there's a binding fiscal rule in the PFM Act upholding it, and the 1.5% annual primary surpluses. All these are, I think, they are good points. But the part that I was expecting to hear more, is the connection between the stability and transformation of lives of the ordinary Ghanaians. Yesterday I was in your studios, for the greater part of the budget reading, and your reporters went across the city market to interview, and the story seems to be the same. So at the point I was asking them, those I was on set with, whether TV3 handpicked the reporters, and they said no, these are random people that were selected. And everybody tends to think the same story, that the economy is hard. They are not, especially sellers, their buyers are not buying from them. So if the numbers are telling a very good story, why is not translating into the average Ghanaian life? And there's a missing connection between numbers and actual growth in the life of the average Ghanaian. And I think that point needs to be addressed. For example, if we look at the number of the mere data, if we look at the unemployment numbers, yesterday the minister announced that it has fallen by about 1%. It used to be 13%, and now it is now 12%. Just about that figure with what it used to be 2 years ago, which is about also around 13%. It means that the unemployment numbers have fallen in the region of about 1 to 1.5% in 2 years. What is not also so significant to be able to put money in the average Ghanaian. If the people are not getting jobs, if people are not having decent work and earning a certain decent salary, then their purchasing power is curtailed. They will not be able to buy certain goods and services. I should say, we are yet to see the numbers of the youth unemployment. The figures that we know is the general unemployment level, which is around 12% currently. The youth unemployment, as the numbers given by the GSS, is about 32.6. Compared to 2024, which is about 32%, there is about close to about 0.5% increase rather. Then you come and look at those in vulnerable employment. So I think that the targeted approach towards translating the growth into the life of the average Ghanaian, there's a kind of a missing gap that we really need to address. Other than that, in the global or in the national level, we will be telling a very good story, but the average Ghanaian will keep saying that they don't have the money in their pocket. And in that case, you see, there's no point in going to the market. The things are cheap, but you don't have the money to buy. I had conversation with some phone dealers in Medina market, and I was asking them, the dollar price is now, the dollar exchange rate is now better than what it used to be 2 years ago. So phone prices should generally be cheaper. And they admitted, yes, phone prices are cheaper, but still people cannot afford it. So I think that we need to study and also invest strategically to ensure that people have at least some sort of money to go around. And another point is this: you see, prices are falling. Your salary may not have been increased or decreased. So generally, you should have increased your purchasing power. But that is not what we are seeing. What it also means that they are also spending on some essentials or necessities. That is not giving them the allowances to spend on other things. One important essential is utilities. The utility bill like ECT has gone up over time, and water bill. So you rather want to spend your money on settling those utility bills, rather than going to spend on other probably non-necessary goods. And no one, you will, if we check closely, the effect of utility bills on cost of living and the income of household and businesses. If we check closely the inflation reported last year by the Ghana Statistical Service, inflation from domestically produced goods was 6.7, and it was contributing close to 80% of the headline inflation. So goods that are produced locally are now being more expensive than even goods that are imported into the country. So the utility bills part of actually is increasing the cost of production, and it is gradually influencing the headline inflation. So these are the issues that we need to look at. And if the issue of utilities, we know that the ECG and the Ghana Water, the story being told is that we are even paying less than what we are supposed to be paying. And that if you are supposed to pay the real value, it will be more than that. And the reason why the cost of power or the cost of water is so high is because there are inefficiencies in the system. And if we don't get these state-owned institutions to address them, there will be billion the few that are legitimately paying, and their costs will keep rising. So I think that transmission mechanism, it needs to be, we have to be clear on that. Other than that, the number will tell a good story, but it will not be felt down there.
Absolutely. And that bit about feeling the positive remnant of macroeconomic indicators in the average life of the Ghanaian has been one of the many curious things consistently we don't see translate quite well. Of the many things the government has said is that we're in a consolidation stage. They came in, things weren't looking too great. They've tried to stabilize, and there's a need for a lot more of that to be done. And if you listen to the finance minister yesterday, he stressed on consolidating those gains and then the Ghanaian beginning to benefit thereof. Having heard a statement like that, and I know you've tried to juxtapose it with what the real sentiments are, is there confidence when the minister says we are consolidating and we will begin to make this reflect in the lives of Ghanaians? Is there confidence that that can happen, at least based on the trajectory of where we've come from and where we are now?
So after when you are consolidating, what it means is that you are trying to close some loopholes, for example, fiscal slippages, to ensure that you don't overspend. But we can also agree that spending is what keeps a nation moving, because the government flagship programs, 24-hour economy, the big push, the accelerated export programs, these are strategic investment portfolios that the government needs to spend some money in there to stimulate the economy. And I keep saying that for the past 20, 30 years, nothing much has changed. You see, in spite of all the things that we have seen for almost 2 years now, I still hold the point that nothing much has changed in the Ghanaian economy. It is still an import-driven economy. It is still almost everything that we need in the Ghanaian economy is still the same. So I was expecting that the government would have hit the ground running. You see, if there is something that we are missing, it's trying to connect the growth nexus between agriculture and industries. But if you run an economy which is import dependent and is driven more by services, the structural problems or challenges are not being addressed. And they are not being addressed because we don't have the funding. The government revenue is not, in the first quarter, government revenue shortfall was about 2.7 billion Ghana cedis. We are hoping that it picks up, So if we don't have the necessary funding, it generally means that you are unable to have the necessary funding to invest in these strategic areas. And we are almost doing 2 years. By next year, you are left with only 1 year to go. We should not forget that the political cycle affects government decisions, economic decisions. So you may end up being in a hurry, investing, undertaking projects that probably are not thought through. So I would have thought that in the first half, key strategic investment, in the industrial enclave would have started, rather than waiting to probably start in your third year when you don't know. It takes a long time to build an industry. So those flagship programs should have been thought of even before taking power in 2024 and hitting the ground in 2025. So when these programs delays, it actually affects the promises that were made to the average Ghanaian. And one thing I've seen commonly going around is the building of the 24-hour market. But I'm not sure that you wake up in the morning and you go and buy more goods because there's a new market in your neighborhood. 24-hour market is purely, as we keep saying, driven by demand and purchasing power. So the market is a byproduct as a result of a response to demand. So if we invest hugely in this market, and I'm yet to see any study that says that when you build a new market, people increase their what they are buying. People increase, and I'm not sure the problem we have in Ghana is market. And building the market, those markets do not necessarily create jobs. But when you look at the back end, the value chain, the back end as in the supply side, as in trying to ensure that we have import substitution industries, the industrial enclave that have been demarcated. In some of the constituencies and assemblies, they have demarcated areas for industrial enclave and industrial parks. I was thinking that they will channel the energy more to that end rather than the front end of the channel, of the value chain. So if we don't do that, we'll keep consolidating for the 3 years of this particular administration.
Right. Fair point. So on those key government interventions, 24-hour economy and a Jumara program and the likes, the concern is that not much was heard in relation to those. You say they should become front burner matters which can reflect in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian, else we spend the next essentially the entirety of the second term of President Mahama just consolidating economic gains.
Exactly the point. You see, we all know the challenges that we went through as a country in 2022, 2023. And how the average Ghanaian, was impacted by the economic challenges. So we were expecting that at this tail end, almost 4 years from 2022, we will be able to position the Ghanaian economy to the point where the average Ghanaian will find some sort of relief. But if we keep blaming events, rather than looking at how we can bring immediate benefits to the average Ghanaian, I think that we will not be able to hold on to the hopes of the Ghanaian in this particular administration. But you see, the challenge is, like I mentioned earlier, is also more of the revenue. if you look at government activity in the treasury bill market, it is so much the point that it may end up crowding out some investors or some businesses that would want to raise money. Well, we know that we are not going to the capital market anytime soon. So government has been trading in the treasury bill market to the point that the treasury bill market rate is around about 5.73. If you have a treasury bill market doing around 5.73, inflation also around about 5.3, about some few percentage points above the inflation rate. Then you have your policy rate around 14%. There is a kind of a disconnect, between the treasury bill rate, where the treasury bill rate is far, far lower than the policy rate, and yet it still receives investment. What it tells us is that there are no better options for banks and institutional investors and the average person to put their money in. That is why they will prefer to give it to you at 5.73% rather than looking for anything that can even pay the reference rate. This is less than half of the reference rate, and yet it will receive more investment. And anytime government floats the treasury bill, you get a subscription for it. And the extent to which people are investing in long-term investment, is dwindling or not at all. You see, you give your money to an investor when you have confidence to the investor for a long time. The longer you are prepared to stay with a business, the higher your trust, in that particular investment.
But the domestic bond market, for instance, is back. The minister mentioned that a 7-year bond was issued, correcting what he believed was a major or a cardinal sin within the economy. With that coming on stream, possibly a few more of domestic bonds, that could be an area or an avenue where the local investor can begin to channel their resources.
Yeah, so I was driving there, you see. So if government can move away from the treasury bill a little bit, not entirely, you may need it at a point entirely, and concentrate more on those long-term investment, and we are able to get over subscription, then it's even send a signal to the international market, that the local, there's something we call signaling. Signaling, the international investor will look at what even the local investors are doing with your bonds before, when you go to the international market, they would want to also have confidence in you. So if the long-term government bonds, are subscribed overly, and government is able to raise money there, it sends a good signal. And I'm sure the latter part of next year, we may test the international market. Something probably in next year's budget. We may test it. So we should strengthen the local bond participation, then we can leave the short term largely for private investors.
Right. Doc, I will have to hold you and get onto the other phone lines because Dr. Peter Pate-Anti, who is the executive director of IFES as well, is with me on the other line to just talk the aspect of education, and then I'll return to you so we wrap up. Doc, I appreciate you for joining and for holding the line for us as well. I know you've been on for quite some time. So we're looking at education as well, right? You've done some work or looking at what we heard from the minister yesterday, aspect of education. The positives are that we're receiving or we're set to receive some $300 million to improve tertiary education. Capitation Grant is receiving some funding, amongst other things. Those are positives we can look at when we take the mid-year budget review.
Yes. Good morning to your listeners. Yeah. So in doing budget analysis, you look at the issue of allocation versus execution. And what the media review helped us appreciate was the fact that there were allocations that were made in November 2025, and a certain amount of execution have been carried out. and that included the areas that you were mentioning. And it's a good indication that we are sticking to the plan as presented in 2025 November, and if we continue like that, it means that we are going to have an excellent budget education rate for the education sector for the year 2026.
Excellent budget execution rate for the year 2026. That $300 million US dollars loan, right? It's a facility which was approved by Parliament. How well does it impact education delivery as well as the other aspects which have been mentioned? I mentioned the $300 million because that goes directly to senior high school infrastructure development as well.
Yes, so if you listen to the Minister of Education and even the Minister of Finance, the focus is to use that facility from the World Bank to deal with infrastructure challenges at the secondary education level. And we think that is a step in the right direction, because our secondary education have been engulfed with a lot of infrastructure challenges, and that is what led to the introduction of the double track. The only challenge there is that it looks like that particular facility would have to run its full course before you be able to eliminate double track. So when the conversation is limited to that facility helping us to eliminate double track, and the date, the year 2027 comes into discussing, it becomes a little bit confusing, because the facility is supposed to last up to 2030, and that is when the infrastructure in the secondary education level would be well addressed. So I struggle to find a link between the ending of double track in 2027 and that facility. You can even do the analysis in this way. You look at, we are able to, we have been told that the money has been released in, Parliament have approved the loan just about a week ago. Now look at the procurement processes and contracts and other things that is in this particular country, and for that matter, with other education sector. There's no way that we'll be able to award the contracts, procurement processes, and do this from now till the end of 2027. And that tells us that that date that has been given by the government to end double track is not feasible. I think that they should just revise it to be open with the people of Ghana and let us appreciate that we'll be able to do this if we are focusing solely on the Start Day project, which is the World Bank facility. Then we are looking at somewhere 2030 to end double track.
The time frame was revised to 2029. You still think that it's not feasible? Because I know that's been revised.
2029 seems to be disputed, because there are news reports from the press secretary to the minister that was an error. So I think they are still sticking to the 2027.
Right, still sticking to 2027. There were other aspects which, for you, was not mentioned in the budget, which is raising a bit of eyebrows for you. What are these aspects, and what will be the expectation going forward, even as implementation will continue throughout this year?
The first thing is the concentration on basic education. I think application grants have been released. That is a good thing, but we all knew that the foundation of education was problematic. We have complained about this when the government was in opposition, and we saw that to be able to strengthen the education system, you need to pay attention to the basic education level. And that is why in November 2025, the finance minister gave a list of things that they are going to do at the basic level, construct a number of kindergarten, primary schools, and all that, provide textbooks, desks, and everything. But interestingly, reading the budget review, none of these things were captured. We don't know the progress reports. We don't know how many kindergartens have been built. We don't know how many textbooks have been procured. None of these featured. What this means is that it's either they were not able to do it, or it escaped them. But with that level of reporting that we have in the country in terms of our financial system, I think that these things have not been done, which means that we are still neglecting the basic education level, and that is not good for the progress of our education system.
Right, Doc, I'll leave it here. I'm sure we will have a much appropriate forum to have an extended conversation in relation to this.
Right,
that's Dr. Peter Partey-Anti, as always, speaking to us. He's Executive Director of IFES. I'll return to my other doc just quickly on the phone lines as well, so that we can wrap up in terms of this conversation on the economy, right? Dr. Boakye-Adom, thank you as well for holding. So in wrapping up, revenue, mobilization, and all of that, we saw that revenue could not meet targets for half year. And there are questions or conversations surrounding how that can be improved. I'm going to first ask if that could also point to a direct correlation between people beginning to feel a bit more, right, the positives of the economy, because when the government has all of the money it needs to spend, then people will begin to feel a bit more. But talk to me about that and the aspect of compliance being the yardstick to which we can increase revenue and how that will play out by the end of the year. Hello, Dr. Yadom.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Did you catch my question, please?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I did.
Right.
So the revenue mobilization drive is clear that government was overly optimistic. I said this on the background of if you look at oil revenue projections. In the oil revenue projection, if you look at the composite budget, government projected to raise some key figures. Let me mention. Good. If we look at table 15 and 16, total petroleum receipt was budgeted to be around $985.5. Then, if we look at the appendix on government operations, it was estimated to be around 13.5 or 13.6 billion Ghana cedis. Then you can look at the benchmark oil revenue and the transfer to GNPC. When government states macroeconomic target, one of the things that is not stated or you are not required to state is the exchange rate, the expected exchange rate. But you can imply it, you can crudely compute it by taking the expected petroleum revenue stated in dollars and that stated in cedis. Usually they state the two. When you knock it off, it gives you an implied exchange rate of 13.8 Ghana cedis per dollar. So in the mind of the government, when preparing the budget, the government used an implied rate of 13.8. So there are two things. If we're expecting exchange rate to move as high as 13.8, why are you injecting, let's say, intermediating with dollar to bring to shore up the city? And another thing is that, is it a mistake that you have overly projected your expected petroleum revenue for the year? Using 13.8 is too high, and currently we are doing around 11 cedis per dollar. So when you overly project your revenue, you will not be able to realize, because the economy cannot. Then we've not even talked about the fact that the barrel per day or the total expected volumes are not living up to expectation, and they've reduced by about 8%. So I think that the government needs to look at the revenue handles properly. Then you come to compliance. One of the issues that have come up at our ports is the publican AI. And GUTA and this trade association have lamented about the publican AI. So yesterday, when we met in your studios, I was asking them, the publican AI did not actually add any taxes. So why are you guys complaining? And their argument is this: the publican AI shops around, find a benchmark item that you have imported, and slap a rate on you. So, for example, you imported a laptop from China, which price generally is lower. Then a publican will shop around and find a benchmark item from probably other country or somewhere that the price is higher. Then, so you may end up, although no direct taxes taxes have been charged, but because of the benchmarking, you are going to pay more than what you should have paid. And he gave a classical example of somebody bringing a 20-footer container, paying around 50,000 cedis 3 months ago. Then the person brings another one, the same container. Then the person is asked to pay over 100,000, about double of what that was paid. So when the people feel that they are not being treated fair by the tax system, they'll find a way to avoid or evade the taxes. So I think the issues need to be addressed. Yes, I understand that government has set some committee to look into it with the GRA and the port people. I think that we need to find a way to address, because the port brings a good money in the country.
Right. Just on the publican AI, the minister yesterday mentioned, amongst many other things, that the introduction of technology has helped increase revenue across the stream as well. Just by way of additional information. And so, yes, there has been concerns, but it does.
Yes, Eric,
it does
before
appear.
You land on that question,
yeah.
If I'm supposed to pay 10,000 and I pay 20,000, your revenue will go up, but you are disadvantaging the business community. So it will tell on the surface of it that yes, the revenue are going up, but at the expense of what? At the expense of people not being feeling that they've not been fairly treated. So I think that fundamental problem needs to be addressed, and we should not only look at the global picture of how much revenue we are receiving alone, because it's a corresponding relationship. If we keep squeezing so much from me in terms of taxes, you will take up my capital, and I will not be, in the long term, I will not be around to pay taxes anymore.
Right, Doc, we'll leave it here. I'm sure there'll be another forum for us to have a conversation a lot later. We're almost 8:19, and so Dr. Boakye Adom, I appreciate you and thank you very much for joining us as well this morning. That's Dr. Eric Boakye Adom, namesake, right? He's a financial economist and senior lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, joining us this morning as well. And let us know what you make, right, of the budget as was delivered by the finance minister yesterday. Send us your thoughts on WhatsApp, right? Send us your thoughts. 053-220-0927, 053-220-0927. I'll just come for concluding remarks from you, Patrice, and then I can go for this break.
Well, I would definitely not tout myself as somebody who understands economics, finance, and so on and so forth. But what beats my mind is that the kind of brain work that goes into all these things, I would wonder why certain loopholes are left out. Is it deliberate or it's ineptitude? I may not be able to tell. But from my standpoint, where I sit, for me to see that a country is developing, I have mentioned this, and it's becoming like a broken record. I need to see proper road network. I need to see spatial planning. And I need to see that our assemblies are working. That is all I need.
Absolutely. That's Patrice Amegashi. That'll take us on to a quick break here on the show. When we return, my guest will join me in studio for a bit more, and then we get into some other big conversations for you.